Hello friends, welcome to Power Book Summaries. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right while trading, yet your decisions still turn out to be wrong? And then your mind fills with anger, fear, and regret? If yes, you're not alone. Every trader experiences this. But the real difference lies in the fact that some people learn to control their minds, while others remain trapped in the same cycle. The disciplined trader teaches us that real trading skills don't come from charts or systems, they come from learning to control our thoughts and emotions. Author Mark Douglas himself was a failed trader who lost money repeatedly. But everything changed when he shifted his mindset, and that became his turning point. Mark says that unless we understand and manage our inner emotions, no strategy can bring lasting success. Losses are guaranteed in trading, but how we respond to those losses determines whether we ultimately win or lose. Imagine placing a trade that instantly goes into a loss. Fear kicks in. You think, I must have done something wrong. Next, time. You hesitate to take the trade or exit too early, missing the opportunity. That fear causes you to second guess, and losses pile up. Mark explains that trading is a game where the future is always uncertain, but our mind constantly craves certainty. We want every trade to be a win, to make money every time. But that's not how trading works. And when those expectations are broken, our mind becomes restless, and that restlessness leads to more losses. So, what's the solution? The answer is a disciplined mindset. Mark says a successful trader doesn't take any trade personally. He understands that every trade is just a probability. Instead of chasing wins, he focuses on the process and thinks long-term. The first step toward this mindset is identifying your fears. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Losing money? Being wrong? Looking like a failure in front of others? As long as these fears exist, you won't be able to trade with a calm mind. Mark explains that many of our fears are rooted in childhood conditioning. If we were taught that making mistakes is bad or losing is shameful, then we carry that belief into trading. We try to be right all the time because that's what we were taught. But Mark says in trading, there is no right or wrong, only probability. You might work with a setup that works 60% of the time and fails 40%, and that's the game. Your success isn't based on what you earn today. It's based on how honestly you follow your process over time. Now, how do we develop this discipline? Mark gives us 3 key steps. 1. Clear beliefs. You must define the mindset you're trading with. Do you believe the market will give you something? Or do you believe in observing the market and making your own decisions? A successful trader knows the market can do anything, and he is always prepared. 2. Emotional awareness. Don't suppress your emotions. Observe and understand them. When you feel fear, ask, why am I afraid? When you feel greed, ask, where is this greed coming from? Are you rushing? Do you think this is your last chance? 3. Focus on the process. You must think the same way every time, not based on the result. Follow your setup, not your emotions. Mark says we need to build an inner observer that watches every emotion and pauses before reacting. When you trade with awareness and consistent logic, discipline naturally follows. To explain this further, Mark shares an example. A trader keeps losing repeatedly. Each time, he tells himself he'll do better next time. But fear and anger ruin his decisions. One day, he sits down and analyzes his losses. He realizes he's been repeating the same mistake, trading emotionally. He decides he'll now only trade based on a predefined setup. No matter how tempting a trade looks. At first, it's difficult. He struggles to fight impulsive decisions. But gradually, his mind calms down and he becomes disciplined. Mark's point is clear. Until you change your thinking, your trading will never change. We've learned that success in trading is less about technical knowledge and more about mental discipline. Mark Douglas teaches us that unless we transform our mindset, We can never become consistently successful in trading. Next, let's talk about the mental tools that help build discipline and how our mindset affects our trading decisions. Belief system. Every person has a belief system shaped by childhood, society, experience, and education. For example, if someone was taught that making money is difficult, that belief will sabotage their trading. Subconsciously, they'll block their own success. That's why Mark says you must first identify and change limiting beliefs. How do you change beliefs? Through awareness. Whenever you feel fear, anger, or impulsiveness while trading, pause. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? As you repeat this exercise, your old beliefs will weaken and new empowering beliefs will take their place. Mental rehearsal. Just like athletes prepare mentally before matches, traders must mentally rehearse too. Visualize yourself trading calmly, accepting losses without anger, and trusting the process. This rewires your subconscious mind and builds confidence. Self-talk. While trading, we all hear two voices inside. One says, hurry up, make money. The other says, follow the rules. If you practice positive self-talk, you can control your impulses. Say to yourself, I trust the process. Every trade is just a probability. I will follow my setup no matter the result. This makes you a stable trader. Now let's talk about the four main fears every trader faces. Fear of loss, fear of being wrong, fear of regret, fear of missing out. At the root of all these fears is the need to always be right. But Mark says for a professional trader, being consistent is more important than being right. He introduces a powerful concept. Trading edge. Your trading edge is the system you follow that gives you a positive return over time. It doesn't mean you'll win every time, but over 100 trades, you'll be profitable. The key is to stick to that edge consistently. Most traders fail because they abandon their system after a few losses. They give in to emotions and lose consistency. Mark says a disciplined trader is someone who follows their edge, no matter what, because they know long-term consistency is what leads to success. Now we come to the most important habit Mark emphasizes. Again and again, journal. After every trade, write down what you thought, what you felt, why you entered, why you exited, how well you followed your rules. This journal becomes a mirror. It reveals your patterns, your emotions, and helps you gradually gain control over your mind. Mark says this process takes time because you're not just learning trading, you're transforming yourself. You're disciplining your mind, and that's a deep journey. In the end, Mark explains that becoming a successful trader isn't just about making money. It's about conquering your fears, building inner calm, and making decisions with clarity. If you follow these practices, you won't just become a great trader, you'll become a better human being. The core message of the book is, don't try to change the market, change yourself. Because the market will always keep changing. But if you become stable within, no change can shake you. Your trading won't change unless your mindset changes. If you've feared failure since childhood or have always sought approval from others, then it's time to change those emotional patterns. Mark says every experience, whether a profit or a loss, is a lesson, a part of your growth. If you truly understand trading, it's not just a way to make money, it becomes a medium for self-development. Because in trading, every moment tests your ego, your patience, and your greed. Asterisk. So how do you build a stable trading mind? Mark gives some very clear suggestions. 1. Neutral mindset. Don't become too happy or too sad. Stay focused only on the process, not the outcome. 2. Predefined rules. Decide in advance what action you'll take in every situation. For example, if the trade goes below this level, I'll exit. If this condition is met, only then will I enter. 3. Emotional detachment. Don't tie your self-worth or identity to the outcome of a trade. Just because a trade failed doesn't mean you failed. It just means the market didn't support that probability this time. 4. Practice and repetition. Take similar trades repeatedly, follow your rules, and accept losses calmly. This discipline only comes with continuous practice. Now, let's talk about a very important topic: self-sabotage. Sometimes, we carry deep beliefs that push us toward failure again and again. For example, if deep down you believe, "I don't deserve money," then no matter how well you trade, you'll unconsciously find a way to lose it. That's why Mark says, monitor your thoughts. Become aware of what emotions are driving your trades. Ask yourself, are those emotions helping you or harming you? The solution? Conscious awareness. This means make every decision with full awareness. Before taking a trade, ask, what emotion is driving me right now? Greed, fear, or patience? Now let's talk about a deep concept: winner's mindset. Having a winner's mindset doesn't mean you win every time. It means you learn from every situation. It means you trust your process. It means you stay disciplined over a long period. Mark says, if you start thinking of yourself as a professional trader, someone whose job is to follow their system daily, you'll move ahead of all those who trade just to make money. This mindset is what sets you apart and leads you toward lasting success. So far, we've learned emotional control is essential for a disciplined trader. Identifying your fears is necessary, and most importantly, you need a perspective where each trade is seen as an independent event. Now let's talk about the most powerful skill that can turn an average trader into a champion trader: emotional mastery. Mark Douglas says, if you don't understand how fear works, it will always work against you. Fear is the most dangerous enemy in trading. It makes you enter trades at the wrong time, exit too early, and feel uneasy even during profitable trades. Fear comes in two forms: fear of loss, fear of missing out, FOMO. When you think, if I miss this trade, I lose out, you jump in impulsively. And when you're already in a trade, fear of loss makes you exit too early. Mark says, to overcome fear, you must accept one truth: you cannot control the market, you can only control your own behavior, when to enter, when to exit, and how much to risk. The second powerful emotion is greed. Greed appears when you're not satisfied with a small profit. You think, if I stay a bit longer, I'll make more. But this is where Mark warns, greed is just an illusion that takes you away from the very process you created. If you decided beforehand to exit at 5% profit, then stick to that. Break your rule once, and you won't be able to control yourself next time. Next is the concept of accepting uncertainty. In trading, nothing is ever guaranteed. Still, our minds crave certainty. We want every trade to be right, every time to make money. But Mark says, this desire for certainty is your biggest obstacle. If you don't break free from this illusion, you'll always remain frustrated. So what's the solution? Train your mind to embrace uncertainty. Before every trade, remind yourself, this is just a probability. When you accept this, you become mentally free. Now let's understand edge thinking. Mark says, a successful trader always focuses on their edge, their system, their setup. They test it, trust it, and understand that in the long run, this edge will make them profitable. It's like running a casino. The casino knows it has a small advantage in every game. A player may win today, but in the long run, the casino always wins. That's exactly how you should think about your trading system. Each trade is like a game, and you have an edge. If you keep following your edge, you'll win in the long term. Let's now talk about trade execution discipline. Many traders build systems, but when it's time to hit the button, they hesitate, feel scared, or act too quickly. The most important things here are trust and patience. Mark says, you must follow your rules every time, no matter what your emotions say. If your rule is to enter only when two conditions are met, Then you must enter only when both conditions are met. If you break your rules because of emotions, you'll face losses. Trading is a game where the biggest challenge is winning against yourself. Once you control yourself, beating the market becomes easy. Now let's talk about a powerful technique called mental rehearsal. Every day, visualize yourself as the ideal trader you want to become. Imagine you're following your rules. You're calm and composed. You're making decisions at the right time. You're learning from every loss. Repeat this mental image again and again. Eventually, it sinks into your subconscious, and when it's time for real trading, you'll behave exactly as you practiced. Finally, let's talk about the last but most important concept: handling losses. Losses are inevitable in trading, but every loss doesn't make you weak. If you treat losses as learning opportunities, they actually make you stronger. Mark says, after every loss, take a pause. Ask yourself, did I break any rules? What did I learn from this? This habit turns every loss into a lesson, and over time, that's what transforms you into a truly disciplined trader. Did I make a decision driven by emotion? Can I avoid this mistake next time? This very process is what shapes you into a true professional, and it's what sets you apart from the crowd. In the next part, we'll learn how to develop ourselves into a trading machine, how to trade consistently, with a calm, balanced, and aware mindset. Eventually, this skill becomes more than just a way to earn money. It becomes a source of personal power. A true trader is one who always follows their rules, who rises above emotions, and who trades with a stable mindset every single time. Mark Douglas says, unless you trade with the clarity and steadiness of a machine, you cannot become a professional. True mastery in trading comes when your thoughts, your emotions, and your decisions are aligned in harmony. Now let's talk about reprogramming the trader's mindset. Your mindset determines the direction of your entire trading journey. If you repeatedly feel fear, get caught in greed, or break your own strategies, it's not the market, it's your mindset. Mark says, until you break your old limiting beliefs, you cannot build anything new. To change these beliefs, you need to talk to yourself every day. Tell yourself, the market has no emotions. Fear only exists within me. The market doesn't want to beat me or help me, it simply moves. I'm the one giving it meaning. When you repeat this enough, it becomes your truth. Now let's talk about the importance of consistency. Mark says the biggest secret to success in the market is making consistent decisions and following a consistent process. You can win once, twice, or even 3 times by chance, but if you want to win consistently, you must have a solid system behind every trade. That system is your trading plan, your entry, exit, and stop-loss strategy. But more important than the plan itself is your commitment to follow it completely. Before every trade, ask yourself, is this my setup? Are all my conditions met? Am I taking the right amount of risk? Only if the answer is yes, should you take the trade. And once you're in, set your emotions aside. Next, let's talk about self-trust. Without self-confidence, you can't succeed at anything, and trading relies entirely on self-trust. But where does that confidence come from? It comes from experience, from discipline, and from testing yourself repeatedly. Mark says, when you repeat the same process again and again, your mind learns to trust itself, and that trust becomes your confidence. So even if you start with small trades, always follow your rules. Your brain learns through repetition. Now let's understand process-oriented thinking. Most people think only about profits, but real professionals think only about the process. They know, if the process is right, profits will come on their own. This mindset is what separates them from everyone else. Mark says, every trade is like planting a seed. If you plant it at the right time, take care of it, and give it time, it will bear fruit. But if you keep digging it up to check its size, it'll never grow. Now comes a very powerful principle: trade without expectations. This may sound strange, but it's the real secret of trading. Mark says, when you trade with expectations, your mind becomes attached to the outcome, and when that outcome doesn't happen, you fall apart. So, instead of focusing on results, just ask, did I follow the right process? The result is just an event. If you followed the process, you've already won, regardless of profit or loss. Now let's talk about freedom from outcomes. This is when you become completely free from what the market gives or takes. You only care whether or not you followed your plan. This creates a deep inner peace, and that peace prepares you for greater success. Mark Douglas says, when you reach this level, you start seeing the market as a game, and you start enjoying the game. Now, the final and most powerful concept, identity. Transformation. If you still see yourself as a struggling trader, that's what you'll remain. But if you begin to see yourself as a disciplined and professional trader, your actions will start aligning with that identity. You need to plant this belief deep inside your mind. I am a calm, balanced, and disciplined trader who follows the rules in every situation. When this belief becomes rooted in your subconscious, your world will begin to change. This book is not just a book, it's a training. It's a shift in consciousness. It's a process of giving birth to a new version of yourself. If you take this seriously, you won't just become a successful trader, you'll become a powerful soul. So far, we've learned the mental traits of a disciplined trader, how to control emotions, reprogram the mindset, and prioritize the process over profits. Now it's time to put this knowledge into action. Let's talk about a powerful daily routine. Every successful trader has a precise practice behind their success. Let's see how you can adopt one too. Morning mental preparation. Every morning before the market opens, repeat these 5 affirmations. I cannot control the market, only my response to it. Every trade is an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. I fully trust my trading plan. My job is to follow the process, not to worry about results. I am a calm, disciplined, and professional trader. When you repeat these every day, your subconscious begins to accept them, and you begin to act accordingly. During trading hours, follow these steps every time you sit down to trade. Repeat your trading plan and ensure today's trade aligns with it. Only enter if all your setup conditions are met. Otherwise, do nothing. Once in a trade, set your stop loss and target, then don't touch it. Treat every trade as a lesson, win or lose. If emotions start to take over, step away and take deep breaths. Nightly review at the end of each day. Ask yourself, did I follow my plan today? And today? 1. If not, why not? 2. What was I feeling in that moment? 3. Can I do better next time? 4. What did I learn about myself? These questions will shift your mindset and elevate you to a professional level. Emotional intelligence practice. The simplest way to manage emotions is awareness. Whenever you feel anger, fear, or greed, just recognize it. Don't suppress it. Just say, this is a feeling, it's here, but I am not under its control. Every emotion is like a wave. If you ride it, it will carry you away. But if you stand still and just observe, it will pass. Visualization technique. Every night before sleeping, close your eyes for 5 minutes and visualize yourself as a successful trader. See yourself calmly sitting at your computer, following every rule, making decisions without fear or greed. This practice implants powerful images into your subconscious, and gradually, your real life starts to reflect them. Finally, the most important principle. Let go. Sometimes we try so hard that we exhaust ourselves. But Mark Douglas says, sometimes success comes when you stop trying and just flow with the process. Trading is like a dance. You have to move with the rhythm. If you force every step, you'll get tired. But if you flow with the rhythm, you'll soar. So yes, make the effort, but when the time comes, let go of the result. One final mantra. I am a part of the market. I move with its flow. My job is to follow the process. I am beyond winning and losing. I am a disciplined trader. And every day, I'm becoming better. If you repeat this mantra daily, it will stop being just words. It will become your identity. The Disciplined Trader is no ordinary book. It's a spiritual practice. It awakens the fearless, calm, and disciplined trader within you. Mark Douglas teaches us that the market isn't something to conquer. It's a place to conquer yourself. If you include this wisdom in your routine, believe me, you'll not only become a successful trader, you'll become a better human being. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are into trading. If this is your first time on our channel, don't forget to subscribe to Power Book Summaries. And yes, tell us in the comments, have you ever made a bad trade just because of your emotions? If yes, what was that experience like, and what did you learn from it? Your answers will help us prepare our next powerful summary. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.